I make a motion to accept all of the correspondence received by the Township Board at various dates.
And I'll support that motion. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, the same. Motion passed. We'll move on now to Mr. Homier. I'd like to have a comment here.
I've been asked to address the Ragged Township and the people here. I am Richard Beagle. I am the Ragged Township treasurer. I do have land that I have leased to the developer. That leaves me with a conflict of interest. I will not participate tonight in the discussion, and I will not vote. It's a disappointment to me, but thank you very much.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Good evening. My name is Mike Homier. I am the Township's attorney. Tonight, we're going to try and get through this process as quickly and efficiently as we can. I have been asked, first and foremost, to address some questions, and I've been directed by the Township Board to answer some questions that have been posed during this period of time from the Planning Commission now until the Township Board. So I'm just going to go through a couple of issues that the Township has asked me to address, and bear with me, I have not brought my printed version of these comments, but I do have my laptop, and so I'll go through those. The first question involves whether the Township has or may require a property value guarantee. Maybe some of you have heard this mentioned at various meetings if you've been to them. It's my opinion that there is no legal authority for requiring a property value guarantee as a condition of approval. That's not to say that they haven't been used in other places, but in every instance that they have been used, they have been a voluntary condition on behalf of developers to assuage local property owners. So the question in this instance is, does the ordinance require a property value guarantee as a condition of approval? And the answer to that is no, it does not. I don't believe there is any legal authority for requiring such a provision. The second question has to do with damage to roads in Ragged Township. And the question is, who is going to pay the cost of repairing this alleged damage or future damage if it occurs? There is a provision in the ordinance under section 4FI11 which provides as follows: any site plan for a utility scale WES or WEGF must include the following information: a description or travel plan of the routes to be used by construction and delivery vehicles and of any road improvements that will be necessary to accommodate construction vehicles, equipment, or other deliveries, and an agreement or bond which guarantees the repair of damage to public roads and other areas caused by construction of the development must be submitted to and approved by the Lenawee County Road Commission prior to commencement of construction of a utility scale WES or WEGF. It goes on to say later in that same paragraph, any necessary post-construction road repairs or reconstruction shall be the responsibility of the owner-operator of the utility scale WES or WEGF, and such necessary road repairs or reconstruction must be performed in compliance with all applicable requirements of the Lenawee County Road Commission. So, in summary, there is a provision addressing potential damage to the roads. The next question has to do with payments in terms of property taxes. And the question is, the wind turbine developer stated that substantial annual payments would be made to townships with wind turbines. However, some people stated that there is legislation pending in Michigan that would affect these payments. Is there pending legislation that would affect the payments? I believe that the reference is to Michigan Senate Bill 34, 2011, which proposes to eliminate personal property taxes. I will say that as of recently, I believe that the wind developers have proposed a possible payment in lieu of taxes should the personal property tax requirement be eliminated through the Senate Bill 34 of 2011. We have not yet really revised that proposal yet or reduced it to writing, but that offer has been made. The next question says, or asks, the wind turbine developer stated that there would be voluntary payments to non-participating property owners whose residences are within certain distances of wind turbines. What are the payments offered to non-participating property owners? I have no information whether or not payments have been offered or not. I can only tell you that as defined, there are definitional terms for both participating and non-participating parcel owners under the ordinance. So whether there's been some discussion with non-participating to make them participating through the payment of money is a private issue and does not necessarily involve the township. The next question has to do with exclusionary zoning. And the question states, the attorney who spoke at the meeting claimed that it was not clear legally what is meant by the term exclusionary zoning ordinances, so it would have to be settled in court. One definition states that an ordinance must be unreasonable and must exclude undesirables in order to be exclusionary. What is the opinion of the attorney retained by the township? Pursuant to the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, exclusionary zoning is a defined term. That means that there must be, one, a demonstrated need, and two, that the use must be lawful. If it meets that criteria, then the township is prevented from excluding that use within the township under its zoning ordinance. So I disagree to the extent, and I wasn't at the meeting, but to the extent that anybody said that exclusionary zoning was not defined, I disagree with that. It is certainly defined under statute. And it precludes the township from excluding a use where there is a demonstrated need and the use is lawful. The next question says, the attorney for the wind turbine developers claims that our draft ordinance would be restrictive. The attorney for IICC claims that he examined the area using Google Maps and it would be possible to construct wind turbines in the area based on the draft ordinance. I'd like the board to be able to make an informed decision based on facts. Could someone document on maps the land parcels where wind turbines could be constructed based on any ordinance that is proposed? That's a complex question to ask. And you have to keep in mind what the township is doing here. The township is not permitting wind turbines. What the township is doing is regulating an existing activity that is otherwise lawful. So right now, the township has no specific regulation to regulate wind turbines, either through noise regulations or setbacks or height or any other provision specifically related to wind turbines. What the township has endeavored to do, which is authorized to do under statute, is to regulate wind turbines in terms of setback, height, noise, shadow flicker regulations, and some of the other provisions contained in the zoning ordinance. So in that respect, is the township restricting their use? Absolutely. They're entitled to do so. Are they excluding the use? No, I don't believe they're excluding the use. They're permitting the use under certain regulations. The question here then is, can you determine how many wind turbines may be built in the township at this time based on the ordinance? No, and that's because I have no knowledge about who may be participating parcel or non-participating parcel in terms of who has leases and who doesn't. So we won't know that information, and we're not supposed to really know that information until we receive an application. This ordinance is of general applicability. That is, it's applicable to any developer who proposes to put in wind turbines along with on-site turbines. And so from that perspective, until somebody files an application, the Planning Commission then will go through that application for purposes of a special use permit review process under an application, and then will address specifics related to each individual wind development. The last question is an interesting one, and it says, was the attorney retained by the Ragged Township Board only to protect them? I don't know what that means, except for this. I was hired by the township because I have extensive experience with wind turbines and drafting municipal ordinances. So in that respect, this is a legislative function. The township, in terms of amending its zoning ordinance, is legislatively trying to enact regulations regarding a specific use, a use that was not otherwise contemplated when it adopted its zoning ordinance in 1974. So in that respect, the township has engaged me to assist them in receiving the information, drafting an ordinance, and then getting to the point where we're at today. So those are the answers to the questions that have been asked that I've been directed to give, and so now we can move to public comment. I have a request. There are obviously a lot of people here. A lot of people want to speak, and certainly we can accommodate them. What I would ask that if there is a specific representative of a particular group that can speak on behalf of the group, I would encourage you to have that person speak on behalf of the group. What I want to try and avoid is duplication and reciting the same provisions over and over again. So if there are members of your particular group who can speak on behalf of the group, I would encourage you to do so. Otherwise, each member of the public is limited to 3 minutes, and we're going to hold everybody to 3 minutes. And once you've had your opportunity to speak, that's all that, you don't have 2 or 3 opportunities to speak. We'll be here all night. So with that in mind, we can get started with public comment. There is a sign-up sheet at the podium down there. Like I said, try and limit your comments to things either that you want to address that have not been said before, or maybe appoint a member of your group as a representative to speak on behalf of the group, and hopefully this will go quickly.
And on your sign-up sheet, we'd ask that you state where you're from, and please try and sign up before you get up to the podium. You know, don't wait until the last minute. Have it done so that we can move along. And thank you.